You have candle wax stuck somewhere it should never be. On your favorite tablecloth, on the carpet your guests are about to walk on your wooden coffee table, and right now you're probably doing exactly what most people do. You're reaching for hot water or a knife or whatever you can find nearby. Stop. Put it down. Because what you are about to do is going to make this 10 times worse. And I am going to show you exactly why and exactly what to do instead. The fix costs almost nothing. You probably already have it sitting in your freezer. 1 tray of ice cubes. That is it. No chemicals, no expensive sprays, no calling a professional. And by the time this video is done, you will know how to pull dried candle wax off of literally any surface in your home. Fabric, carpet, wood, glass, even painted walls, without leaving a single trace behind. The last surface trick I show you is one that almost nobody gets right. So stay with me all the way through. Let me paint you a picture. It is a weekend evening. You have lit a few candles, the room looks beautiful, everything is perfect. Then something knocks the candle, or it burns down too fast, or the wax just overflows, and suddenly there's a thick pool of wax hardening on your tablecloth, or a long streak of it running down the side of your wooden dresser, or a splatter of it across your carpet. You try to wipe it while it is still warm. Big mistake. Warm wax smears. It pushes deeper into fabric fibers. It spreads across wood grain. Now you have a bigger problem than when you started. So then you try scraping it with a knife or a spoon, and you scratch the surface underneath, or you pull out threads from the fabric. You go online and someone tells you to use a hot iron and a paper bag, and maybe that works a little, but now you have an iron-shaped water stain and the wax is still partially there. Someone else says, try boiling water, and now your tablecloth is soaking wet and the wax has run into an even wider area. The whole process is frustrating and the result is almost always disappointing. You end up either living with a stain or replacing the item entirely. Here's what nobody tells you. Wax and cold are natural enemies. Wax is a lipid, a fat-based compound. When it is warm, it is soft and sticky, and it clings to anything it touches. It works its way into fibers and pores and grain. But when you get it cold, genuinely properly cold, it does something remarkable. It contracts. It pulls inward. It becomes hard and brittle, and most importantly, it separates from the surface underneath it. The bond between the wax and the material beneath it breaks. And when that bond breaks, the wax does not smear or spread. It pops. It flakes. It lifts clean away in solid pieces. This is basic physics. Cold causes materials to contract and become rigid. Different materials contract at different rates. Wax contracts much faster than fabric or wood or glass. So when you chill the wax quickly and aggressively, it shrinks away from the surface it is stuck to before the surface itself has a chance to change. That gap, that tiny moment of separation, is your window. That is when you remove it. And it comes away almost perfectly every single time if you do it right. The reason most people do not know this has nothing to do with anyone hiding it. It is simply that our instinct when we see a waxy mess is to apply heat, because heat melts wax, and melted wax seems easier to remove. But that instinct is completely wrong for surfaces like fabric and carpet and wood. Heat remelts and rebonds the wax. Cold breaks the bond entirely. Once you understand this, everything changes. So let us go surface by surface, because the technique is slightly different for each one, and the details matter. Fabric first. Tablecloths, napkins, clothing. This is probably the most common scenario. If the wax is still soft, do not touch it. Walk away. Let it harden completely on its own. If you're in a hurry, put the whole item in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes. What you want is for the wax to be completely solid and cold all the way through, not just on the surface. Once it is fully frozen, take it out and immediately work fast. Use your thumbnail or the back of a butter knife, not the blade, and press firmly at the edge of the wax. It will pop off in large flakes. You will be amazed. Work around the edges first, then the center. Remove as much solid wax as you possibly can this way. You will get out probably 80 to 90% of it in under a minute. Now for the remaining residue, the thin waxy film left in the fabric. This is where you use the heat method, but only at this stage, and only on what remains. Lay a brown paper bag or a few layers of plain paper towel over the stain. Run a warm iron over it. The paper absorbs the last of the melted residue. Move the paper each time so you are always absorbing onto a clean section. Do this 2 or 3 times, and the fabric will look like nothing ever happened. If there is any color left from dyed candles, treat it with a small amount of dish soap before washing normally. Carpet next. Carpet is a little trickier because you cannot put it in the freezer. This is where your ice cubes come in directly. Put 5 or 6 ice cubes into a Ziploc bag or a damp cloth. You do not want water dripping into the carpet, and press it firmly down onto the wax. Hold it there. Leave it for 10 to 15 minutes. You want the wax to get genuinely cold and brittle all the way through. Then lift the bag, and immediately, quickly, use a blunt knife or a stiff credit card and scrape from the outside edges inward. The wax will crack and come away in chunks. Vacuum up the pieces as you go. Do not let them sit and rewarm. Keep working in sections. Once the solid wax is gone, treat any oily residue with a small spray of rubbing alcohol on a clean cloth, blotting, not rubbing, from the outside of the stain toward the center, then blot dry. Your carpet will be clean. Wood surfaces. Tables, floors, dressers, shelves. Wood is the one that people ruin most often by being impatient. They grab a knife and drag it across, and now there are scratch marks in the finish. Do not do that. The ice bag method works perfectly here. Place your bag of ice directly on the wax for 5 to 8 minutes. The wax will become very hard and will pull slightly away from the wood surface as it contracts. Then use a plastic scraper or even a credit card and apply gentle upward pressure. The wax will pop off cleanly. Work slowly and let the cold do the work for you. After the bulk of the wax is removed, take a small amount of olive oil or coconut oil on a soft cloth and rub it gently over the area in the direction of the wood grain. This removes any remaining waxy film and conditions the wood at the same time. Your table will look better than it did before. Glass and candle holders. Honestly, glass is the easiest of all once you know this trick, and yet people struggle with it constantly. Do not scratch at it. Do not chip at it. Put the glass item in the freezer for an hour. The wax will contract so significantly that in many cases it will already be sitting loose inside the holder when you take it out. A gentle push with your thumb or a quick flex of the glass, and the wax pops out in one solid piece. If any residue remains, a small amount of rubbing alcohol on a cotton ball, and it wipes clean in seconds. That is it. Glass done. Painted walls. This is the one that makes people panic. They think a wax splatter on a painted wall is a permanent disaster. It is not, but you do need to be careful about not damaging the paint. Use the ice bag again. Hold it against the wall over the wax splatter for 5 minutes. Do not let water drip down the wall. Use a barely damp cloth as a barrier if needed. Once the wax is cold and hard, use your fingernail or a plastic card at a very shallow angle, and almost flat against the wall, and push upward very gently. The wax will flake away. For any remaining film, a tiny amount of white vinegar on a cotton ball, applied very gently, will dissolve the residue without affecting most interior latex paint. Test in an inconspicuous spot first if your walls have a specialty finish. Now, here's the final tip I promised you, the one that most people get completely wrong even when they know the rest of this: the timing. The single biggest mistake people make is waiting too long after the wax has been chilled. You apply your ice, you wait, the wax gets cold, and then you go find a tool. You adjust your angle, you take your time. Meanwhile, the wax is already warming back up from the ambient air and from the warmth of your hand near it. By the time you start working, it is no longer brittle. The bond has reformed. You have lost your window. The moment you remove the ice, move immediately. Have your scraper ready in your other hand before you even remove the ice bag. Work fast and decisively. If the wax starts to feel less brittle partway through, stop. Reapply the cold. Give it another 5 minutes, then go again. You're not racing against the clock in a stressful way. You are just being deliberate and prepared. Cold is your tool. Use it actively and keep it working for you throughout the whole process. One last thing before you go. If you have got multiple wax situations, say after a dinner party with candles everywhere, do not try to do them all back to back in a rush. Set up a system. Get your ice bag and a few tools ready. Do one surface at a time, get it fully clean before moving on, and take the time to re-chill the wax properly each time. Rushing leads to smearing, which leads to the exact situation you were trying to avoid in the first place. Candle wax is genuinely one of the easier household messes to clean when you understand what is actually happening at the material level. Cold breaks the bond, fast removal keeps it broken. A little patience and the right tool, which costs you literally nothing, and every surface in your home is protected. If this helped you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are in the middle of a wax emergency right now. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of thing. Real solutions, explained properly, no fluff. And leave me a comment telling me which surface gave you the most trouble. I read every single one and it helps me decide what to cover next. Next video, I'm going to show you something equally surprising. How white vinegar and a single sheet of aluminium foil removes years of hard water stains from your taps and shower head in under 10 minutes. No scrubbing, no expensive descaler, just 2 things from your kitchen. You will not want to miss that one.